put their mobile on switch off mode. Good morning and a warm welcome to Sri Alok Premnagar sir, Joint Secretary, Sri Nirupam sir, and all other distinguished guests, panel members, and other dignitaries from banks, government departments, and all those who have joined us online. Uh, this program is on Swamitva scheme, which was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister on National Panchayati Raj Day 24th April 2020 with the resolve to enable the economic progress of rural India by providing a record of rights to every rural household owner in a rural inhabited area. This scheme covers multi-fair aspects, facilitating monetization of properties and enabling bank loans, reducing property-related disputes, comprehensive village-level planning. With us today, we have Sri Alok Premnagar, sir, Sri Nirupam Mehrotra, Director, Bird, Sri S. Chokalingam, sir, he is Director, Yasda, Pune, then other dignitaries and panel members, which we will be seeing during our different panel level discussions. Now, I will invite Sri Nirupam Mehrotra sir, Director, Bank Institute of Rural Development, Lucknow, present the welcome address for the roundtable. Sir.
धन्यवाद संजीव। सभी को नमस्कार। डीजी यशदा, भारत सरकार से आए मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पंचायती राज और डीएफएस के वरिष्ठ अधिकारीगण, राज्य सरकार से पधारे वरिष्ठ अधिकारी, जीएम आरबीआई, वरिष्ठ बैंकर्स, विभिन्न राज्यों के एसएलबीसी कन्वेनर, एमओपीआर की टीम और इस राउंड टेबल में प्रतिभागिता करने जो प्रतिभागी हैं, बर्ड की ओर से मेरा सौभाग्य है, निरुपम मेहरोत्रा, डायरेक्टर बर्ड का, कि आप सबका इस गोष्ठी पे अभिनंदन करूं और स्वागत करूं। सर्वप्रथम मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी एमओपीआर का कि इस महत्वपूर्ण इनिशिएटिव जो लिया है इस महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर, और ये बहुत ही टाइमली है। और निश्चित तौर पे आज की जो गोष्ठी और राउंड टेबल है, इससे जो मुद्दे निकलेंगे, इससे एक दिशा इस महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर आगे बढ़ने में डेफिनेटली सहयोग होगी। इससे पहले कि मैं आज के विषय पर कुछ बिंदुओं पर अपने विचार रखूं, I would also like to take this opportunity to just briefly tell what is the Bankers Institute of Rural Development was set up by NABARD in 1983 for imparting capacity building and strengthening for rural financial institution. That was the original mandate, and it is a sprawling campus of 43 acres. And we have been over the years giving training, doing policy advocacy, consultancy, research in various areas for rural financial institutions. But at the same time, now we also for the last 4-5 years or more have emerged as a premier nodal agency for the Government of India, Ministry of Agriculture for FPOs training. And that is one area for collectives that Bird is quite proud of, that we have been able to have a very structured training module which we impart here in this very campus. We also do trainings for the commercial banks, cooperative banks, regional rural banks on agri lending, rural credit. And as part of whatever goes into agriculture and rural development banking field, usme bhi, and one of those things is that I would thank JS MOPR that the policy advocacy role, where there are gaps, where we can sort of for roundtables like this or any small core group meetings that we have hold, so that we can take the have a free and frank discussion on the subject, उसके ऊपर विचार करें और उसके बाद अगर जो मुद्दे निकलते हैं, it really helps in taking the thing forward. Now coming to today's important deliberations, बहुत खुशी की बात है कि we have the bankers, we have the government, and I think in many ways even the SLBC conveners also were part of the banking community. They have a very important role in this Swamitva property card. And मैं पढ़ रहा था कि भारत में rather this all of us who are from the banking community know कि भारत में अधिकतर बैंकों से लोन लेते वक्त जो है कोलैटरल की आवश्यकता होती है, और लैंड बेसिकली ज्यादातर in rural areas land becomes a collateral, and land is an immobile asset in many sense compared to other assets which are held for mortgage or can be given for mortgage. हालांकि कुछ बैंकर्स डेफिनेटली मेरी इस राय से तारुफ नहीं रखेंगे, लेकिन मोस्टली बैंकर्स इन द रूरल एरियाज वुड प्रेफर लैंड एज ए कोलैटरल, बट बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स इमोबिलिटी एंगल एंड बिकॉज उसमें एक मार्केट नहीं अवेलेबल है फॉर सेल, सो देयर आर ऑल्सो व्यूज दैट समटाइम्स दे शाई ऑफ फ्रॉम दैट और उसको लेना नहीं चाहते कंपेयर टू एनी अदर एसेट और फिक्स्ड मशीनरी एंड ऑल. वर्ल्ड बैंक की ही स्टडी है जो लेकिन ये भी आंकड़ा देती है कि लोन टू कोलैटरल जो वैल्यू है रेशियो, वो लोन टू कोलैटरल वैल्यू रेशियो इन द केस ऑफ लैंड इज हायर कंपेयर टू अदर such assets. So that way, as far as a collateral in terms of the loan to collateral ratio, land is preferable. In fact, वो आंकड़ा में एक वर्ल्ड बैंक स्टडी से ये हो सकता है कि उस पे जो है अलग अलग भिन्न राय हो डिपेंडिंग ऑन the this thing, but they said that almost 80% of what is pledged is the loan to collateral value ratio in land compared to others, जिसमें 25, 30, 50% भी बहुत कम है. So there is a World Bank study. If you want, we can sort of discuss it further. Question is, how can we monetize it? I think this is where the Swamitva property card sort of fits in. एंड आई थिंक जैसा आप सब जानते हैं कि स्वामित्व कार्ड जो है आबादी क्षेत्रों में रहने वाले रहिवासियों के लिए मालिकाना हक प्रदान करता है और कानून द्वारा इसको बैकिंग है इन टर्म्स ऑफ द टाइटल एंड इसकी इस पहलू से स्पेशली कि मालिकाना हक और कानून का बैकिंग के साथ इससे कई संभावनाएं रूरल क्रेडिट मार्केट पे ओपन होती हैं, कुछ सापेक्ष, कुछ असापेक्ष, कुछ दीर्घकालीन, कुछ अल्पकालीन। और ये जो है शायद बैंकिंग कम्युनिटी के लिए आने वाले टाइम पे एक अपने आप में जो है इन मौकों को आई थिंक तराशना के अलावा इसके इर्द गिर्द रूरल क्रेडिट मार्केट का भी स्ट्रेंथनिंग हो सकती है मेरे अपने विचार में। सो आई होप कुछ ऐसे मुद्दे की कैसे हो सकती है, ये इसके ऊपर आज विचार होगा और खुले मन से मेरे को पता है कि यहाँ आने से पहले मैं खुद मध्य प्रदेश में था और एसएलबीसी कन्वेनर फॉर मध्य प्रदेश ईयर हम कई एसएलबीसी में स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के साथ मिलके काम करते थे और उसमें भी कुछ मुद्दे थे, लेकिन एक एसएलबी क्योंकि मैं मध्य प्रदेश में का एक्सपीरियंस दे सकता हूँ कि काफ़ी उस पर भी काम हुआ है इस एरिया में। ऐसा नहीं है कि बाकी राज्यों में नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि मैं इस पटल में ये भी रखना चाहूँगा। दो तीन चीज़ें जो है मेरे ख्याल से बैंकिंग पर्सपेक्टिव फ्रॉम बैंकेबिलिटी एरिया मैं आज के राउंड टेबल के डिस्कशन के लिए अपनी ओर से रखना चाहूँगा और होपफुली बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे वी विल हैव ए गुड पाथवे गोइंग फॉरवर्ड। एक तो क्या प्रॉपर्टी कार्ड्स जो हैं उसमें उसके प्रारूप में उसके प्रोफॉर्मा में कोई बदलाव की जरूरत है क्या? कुछ बदलाव की जरूरत अगर है उसके प्रारूप में फ्रॉम द एंगल ऑफ बैंकर्स, देन आई एम श्योर कि दैट कैन बी डिस्कस्ड। एक इशू जो मेरी डीजी यशोदा से अभी बात हो रही थी, इनफैक्ट कल से हम बात कर रहे थे इसके ऊपर, इज द क्वेश्चन विच बैंकर्स हैव इन माइंड इज अबाउट इक्विटेबल मॉर्टगेज एंड रजिस्टर्ड मॉर्टगेज। उसके बीच का जो डिफरेंस है उसको किस तरीके से हम सुलझा सकते हैं। गुड टू नो कि sir was telling me, Chuklangam sir was telling me that Maharashtra has made some good efforts. I am sure कि he will be able to share some of this, because कई बार मेरे को लगता है कि जानकारी का अभाव है और उस जानकारी के अभाव को अगर ब्रिज कर लिया जाए तो आई थिंक हाफ द जॉब इज डन। सो दैट इज वन थिंग दैट कैन बी डिस्कस्ड। एसएलबीसी कन्वीनर्स इधर हैं, मेरी उनसे गुजारिश है कि शायद एसएल अगर कई राज्यों में ये हो चुका है, कई राज्यों में शायद अभी करना बाकी है कि एसएलबीसी स्तर पे अगर एनुअल क्रेडिट प्लान जो बनता है उसमें कहीं ना कहीं अगर इस फाइनेंसिंग को थ्रू स्वामित्व कार्ड की फाइनेंसिंग को शामिल कर लिया जाए तो एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में एक टारगेट अप्रोच के तहत जो है इसमें फाइनेंसिंग की और दिशा पे एक रेगुलर वो हो सकता है और इसको आगे लिया जा सकता है। तो ये एसएलबीसी के कन्वीनर्स हैं, मे बी दे कैन शेयर देयर एक्सपीरियंस ऑन दिस एंड ले दे के आई थिंक वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग्स दैट आई वुड लाइक टू प्लेस फॉर डिस्कशन टुडे इज दैट जो बैंकिंग के है कि क्या कैन वी थिंक ऑफ कि जो आबादी जो प्रॉपर्टी होल्डर्स हैं जिनको इशू की गई है आबादी कार्ड्स, उनके इर्द गिर्द जो है कोई बैंक्स अपने स्तर पे स्कीम्स अगर बना पाए, सो दैट विल बी सॉर्ट ऑफ कि एक डायरेक्शन मिलेगा फ्रॉम एंड अगर एक बार स्कीम बनती है वी ऑल बैंकर्स नो कि देयर इज ए स्टैंडर्ड प्रोटोकॉल कि उसके अगेंस्ट जो है स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग गाइडलाइंस बनती हैं एंड देन एसओपीज बनती हैं एंड देन इट फ्लोज डाउन टिल द ब्रांच लेवल। वो गाइडलाइंस शायद अभी कई जगह गई हैं, कई नहीं गई है, लेकिन आई थिंक वी नीड टू थिंक लिटिल इनोवेटिवली इन दिस एरिया इफ वी कैन make schemes around the Swamitva property card and for that issue holders in terms of this thing. I think SLBC convener is from Madhya Pradesh. Maybe he may be able to share more after
हमने
during that
मतलब
discussion.
इसका जो एसीपी है उसमें ये टारगेट दिया है 505 बैंक।
Right. So these are some of the things which will take it forward. But I think getting a scheme done weaved around the property card holders can take this थिंक लिटिल मोर फॉरवर्ड और एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड वर्ड में फॉरवर्ड हो सकती है। एसएलबीसी और बैंक्स की बड़ी भूमिका है। आई एम श्योर कि बर्ड विल बी मोर देन ग्लैड टू कंट्रीब्यूट इन दिस डिस्कशन एंड टू टेक दिस थिंग फॉरवर्ड इफ हमारी ओर से इन टर्म्स ऑफ कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग। In fact, Bird runs lot of training courses in which we also go deeply into like एग्री इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंडिंग। ये जो गवर्नमेंट की नई स्कीमें आई हैं, इसके लिए क्या देखना चाहिए, क्या नहीं, हाउ टू मेक द कैश फ्लोज। So there are gaps. We think that once the scheme is announced, but our experience in Bird is ki when bankers come here, they have a different take on the thing, and the range of things are so large that एक बैंक होमोजीनियस कहना ठीक नहीं होगा, बिकॉज हियर आई बैंक्स विच आर फ्रॉम कमर्शियल बैंक इन द सेम AIF, they want high ticket loans on agriculture, and the RRBs and the cooperative banks, they want lower ticket loans, and for that the appraisal mechanism, the capacity building that is required, that is also different. So there is a case for a capacity building in within this area also, and but will be more than happy see if we can do some quick studies. Definitely we will be more than happy, but I think a scheme is what which is, I think, can be deliberated upon. If that comes out, it will be very good, and so that उससे जो है एक दिशा और निर्देश जो है ग्राउंड लेवल इन ब्रांच लेवल तक पहुंचे, तो ये जरूरी है। इसमें मैं सिर्फ एक ही उदाहरण और लेना चाहूंगा कि आज से करीब 2-3 साल पहले FPO फाइनेंसिंग की बात होती थी, और FPO फाइनेंसिंग बहुत ज़्यादा कारगर नहीं हो रहा था। So what happened is that taking a leaf out of that experience, we deliberated. There was a subsidiary of NABARD, NAP Kisan, we gave, but we then started a credit guarantee scheme for FPO, the government of India and NABARD, and there was a scheme which SFAC was doing. And that actually up to a particular threshold level credit guarantee was given, and now we are seeing that there is an uptake and the banking system has sort of adapted it. In fact, our own subsidiary and many NBFCs are now feeling the heat. That and I am getting regularly a lot of, as Director Bird, queries from the banking. Please do FPO financing training for us. So this example I have just taken because there was a gap and it was filled up. Maybe such a thing can be filled up if there is a scheme like that. Can be that be? In fact, the government of Tamil Nadu recently has sent its officers from the agricultural department to know about how FPO financing can be done in a value chain mechanism. Unka review bhi hai. So with these words, only thing is that from a larger policy angle अगर देखा जाए, तो I think rural credit market needs a much more strengthening and efficiency. Swamitva card may be the answer in which the rural credit markets will get strengthened. If it happens, it will take the rural credit market itself from a policy angle at a higher pedestal. But that's for a policy level, this thing. आखिर में आई एम सॉरी दैट इफ आई एम रिपीटिंग दिस, बट एक छोटा सा वाक्य सुनाना चाहूंगा कि बिफोर, बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ बैंकर्स आर देयर एंड कांट लूज दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी विद द गवर्नमेंट ऑल्सो देयर, is that in 1998-99, in this very campus, and something which happened, which everybody in this room and bankers definitely know about it, is something what we call as the Kisan credit card, which became a sort of a synonymous with the term of agri lending. Okay, it also needs a reinvention, but that apart, 98-99 Bird campus में एक छोटी सी पहल हुई थी. We did a very small study on how to improve agri lending, and the idea of Kisan credit card was generated or germinated based on that lending, and then it was picked up thanks to RBI, and based on that a circular came out. So 99, I think the Kisan credit card came out. So it is, I think, Garmi must have generated in something like as simple or of a study or maybe of a round table. So without taking any more analogies, this can be a good thing to sort of, I thought, will share with you. So by the end of the day, we should have much more clarity, much more productive discussion, and hopefully we will have a pathway where we can be on a better trajectory as far as the Swamitva property card and bankability and banks are concerned with respect to this. Thank you very much and wish you a pleasant stay here. I know the weather could have been little kinder, but nevertheless, we don't have much control over that. But whatever we have, we can say the most of it. And if there has been any hiccups on the logistics and other fronts, we will try to improve, and your feedback on that will be also important. Have a productive discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I will request Sri Alok Prem Nagar sir for inaugural address and also on an overview of Swamitva scheme.
Thank you. I'll speak from here if it's okay with everybody. So, good morning to everybody. It is such a joy to see a full house. The last time I was here, I saw this room and I was wondering if we'd be able to have the kind of discussion that we wanted. But thanks to the director Bird, we have made it work. And that is how we all come to be here today. I have interacted with a lot of you through Swamitva implementation and through our recent joint VCs that we had. I'm just going to be talking, there is no presentation. So, as you all are aware, there is a note that's been circulated, but just to summarize it briefly, the Abadi lands were hitherto unsurveyed in most of our country. Pretty much the entire country. There are some legacy records in certain states, but by and large, in the revenue record, it would show as a common a land which was like a black hole in the middle of all these property parcels that we had, and you had habitations there, and people were living there. So the idea of this scheme came primarily due to the efforts of the gentleman on my right, the DG Yashda, who was at that time the survey head of the entire state. So he and the Rural Development Department, together with the Survey of India, so that is another main character who is not here, Lieutenant General Girish, who validated drone technology, and in a matter of days, they were able to create land records corresponding to the Gauthan areas, what are called Gauthan areas in Maharashtra. And it was my job to go and see what was done in Maharashtra and turn it into a scheme. And we managed to do that in 2020. And that was during the lockdown. In fact, right after the lockdown. In fact, Joe also helped me a lot in the preparation of the scheme framework. And the objectives of the scheme, from which flows the context for this meeting today. The first objective was that you would be able to create land records and there would be very little dispute as a result of that. And the second number objective was that people would be able to use their property cards as an additional source to get loans from financial institutions. In fact, at the time we had the first property card distribution on 11th October 2020, there were 4 loans that were given out with the PM presiding virtually over that event. And I think one was in Lucknow only, Ramrati, and there were 4 others, one in Haryana, and they were all over the place. And these loans were given away, and this is a constant refrain in all the addresses that the Honorable Prime Minister has made, either on national fora or international fora. He's also spoken about this in the UN General Assembly. And as late as the Council of Ministers meeting at the start of the monsoon session, he made this thing again. So, which is why the Department of Financial Services are here. There is a committee of secretaries that is dedicated to this job, and we need to make it work. RBI, I have been constantly engaging, just as Joe is a constant companion. I've been interacting virtually with Mr. Chandan right from the very beginning. I was hoping that I'd see him here, but we, to the best of our abilities, we have tried to do what the banks wanted us to do to begin with. DFS pointed us out to the Punjab National Bank legal team, and the things that they told us, we circulated it to all the states, and we tried to make sure that geotags and registration of property and indicating charge on property, all these things, and having the property card in a proper legal format, which should flow from an existing code. So all these things were circulated to the banks, and by and large, people have done good, but for some reason this thing has failed to take off, the fact that people are able to get loans against their property cards for a number of reasons, which is why we are here. When I first came and discussed this with uh, Malhotra ji in early June, so I had a workshop in mind, but he said that before a workshop, we need to have a round table. We need to hear each other out. We need to be very clear about what is it that a financial institution is looking for, and whether or not we can provide that, and how we can simplify things for the people. So, from the standpoint of opportunity, if under Swamitva we are covering 3.6 lakh villages, and the average Gauthan or Abadi or Gram Thana or Gram Kantam area is of the order of 1 square kilometers, it goes up as high as 5 square kilometers in the south. So, we are talking about 3.6 lakh square kilometer of additional area that we are going to bring under the ambit of credit, being able to give people credit against. That was an opportunity. I'm not really a finance man, but I remember there was Coases law, and Coases law used to say that if you lower the transaction costs, then there is a natural tendency for greater efficiency. So we are being able to create a record. States like Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, you've engaged with them. They've created very good systems of hosting these records. The charges are automatically indicated. तो मोटी बात हमें तो ये समझ आती है कि सरकार द्वारा दिया हुआ एक कागज है जिसमें बताया जा रहा है कि आप इस चीज के मालिक हैं. अब उसके बारे में लोगों को अगर दिक्कत आ रही है तो क्यों आ रही है, और किस तरह से हम उनकी राह आसान करें जिससे उन लोगों को उस कागज के अगेंस्ट प्रॉपर्टी कार्ड के अगेंस्ट मिलने लग जाए. फिर आप चाहे उसे इक्विटेबल मॉर्टगेज या रजिस्टर्ड मॉर्टगेज जो भी कुछ कहें, कोर्सेज लॉ होगा तो मैं चाहूंगा कि वो इक्विटेबल मॉर्टगेज की जगह तरफ ज्यादा जाए. सो इट इज आवर जॉब रियली. We are not just a sounding board. It is our job to work things out. I think that together, while in SLBCs there have been some discussions, this is the first such forum where we are all face to face, where we can all look into साइड वाले की कॉपी में देख सकते हैं चीटिंग करने को कि ये क्या कर रहा है. What has Gujarat done? What has Maharashtra done? What has MP done? What Uttarakhand could do? What UP can do because they're about to bring their legislation. So this is a good opportunity for cross learning, and this is a good opportunity to tell each other that if we do this, then we are good. So that was my earnest request, and to that end, we are all here. I'm happy that RBI is able to participate. They can shed some light on the issue. My early endeavor was if they could issue a direction to the banks all over the country. But then they all referred it to the bankers, national bankers body that you have, and subsequently to the SLBC, and there the matter rested. So this is a wake up call really, and we need to get our act together and provide this benefit. One expects that for the 3.6 lakh villages, about 5 crore property cards would be given. I'm just going as per the average that one has till now. 5 crore प्रॉपर्टी कार्ड्स, तो फिर कितने सारे लोगों को आप इसका बेनिफिट देंगे, वो चीज़ आप खुद ही कर सकते हैं. सो ट्रीट दिस एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी and don't shut yourselves out. Uh, Tell the states, and the state should tell the banks, so that whatever legitimate issues are there, they get taken care of. And we are able to not only do what the Prime Minister has expressed his desire for, but we are also able to bring succor to all these people who are beneficiaries under the scheme, and this avenue of opportunity should open to them. So thank you. That is it from me. I hope we have a good day. I hope we go exactly with the list of things that we need to do. And we are all looking to you, and all the people, the property card holders are looking at all of us, how well we can carry out this job and give a good account of ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for covering details about the Swamitva and also inaugurating this program. Now, after this inaugural address and overview on Swamitva scheme, we will move forward towards having address from DFS, Sri S.K. Singh, Director. I will request Sri S.K. Singh, Director, Department of Financial Services, to give his address.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. As we all has already been told that how important is Swamitva scheme. In 2020, Honorable Prime Minister has launched this scheme, and the objective behind this scheme was the facilitation of monetization of properties and enabling banks to, there are disputes of land disputes in rural areas. So after this Swamitva card being issued, there will be less number of dispute in rural areas, and also that Swamitva card will be used as a financial documents for providing loan to the Abadi land old owners. As it is already brought out by Joint Secretary MOPR sir that लगभग 3 साल हो गए हैं, बट अभी भी बहुत सारे इश्यूज हैं जो हमें शॉर्ट आउट करने हैं. सो आई हैव बीन टोल्ड बाय सेक्रेटरी DFS दैट हमें, बिकॉज वी आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग बैंक्स एंड वी आर डूइंग डुअल रोल एज फार एज दिस स्वामित्व स्कीम इज कंसर्न. इसमें जो पहला रोल है, हम प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो ऑब्जेक्टिव था इस स्कीम को लॉन्च करने के लिए, उसे हम आप लोगों के बीच में कैसे फैला सकते हैं, फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन के बीच में, कि इसके पीछे क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव था. एंड द सेकेंड रोल इज बिकॉज द स्वामित्व कार्ड इज बीइंग यूज्ड फॉर एज अ फाइनेंशियल डॉक्यूमेंट, एंड उसके बेसिस पे बैंक्स लोन देंगे. तो देयर आर bankability issues, और बैंक के जो कंसर्न है वो हमें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और भी जो भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं उनके बीच में रखना होगा. इसीलिए मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है कि ये एक जो हमें एक फोरम मिला है, एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है सारे बैंकर्स के लिए और भी जो फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, कि वो जो भी इसमें जो भी उनके कंसर्न्स हैं, छोटे हों बड़े हों, उसे वो यहाँ पे लाएं, क्योंकि ये सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स यहाँ पे हैं, और उस पे जो भी वे आउट है, जो भी सोल्यूशन है, उस पे चाहे वो स्टेट रेवेन्यू या लैंड एक्ट या रूल में कुछ भी अमेंडमेंट किससे रिलेटेड इशू है वो किए जाएंगे. और जहां भी हैंड होल्डिंग की जरूरत होगी, रेगुलेशन से रिलेटेड इश्यूज होंगे, वहां पे आरबीआई हमें सपोर्ट करेंगे. और बाकी भी जिस तरह के भी इश्यूज होंगे उसको हमें सॉर्ट आउट करने हैं और इस स्कीम को सक्सेसफुल बनाना है। जो second week of this month, Secretary DFS has chaired meeting with SLBCs and state governments कि इसमें क्या इश्यूज हैं जिसके कारण हम इसमें प्रोग्रेस नहीं हो पा रही है। तो उसमें कुछ कुछ जो इश्यूज थे वो आगे डिस्कशन में आएंगे ही, बट जैसे एक इम्पॉर्टेंट इशू है कि जो स्वामित्व कार्ड है वो उसमें कैसे हम अनएम्बिगियस एविडेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप कैसे कर सकते हैं विथ अनकंडीशनल राइट्स ऑफ ट्रांसफर, क्रिएशन ऑफ मॉर्गेज एंड charge on the property is another area where we have to deliberate upon. The third issue is guidance value of the Abadi area to assess the value of property offered as security. और जो फोर्थ पॉइंट है कि इन केस ऑफ डिफॉल्ट हाउ द रिकवरी ऑफ आउटस्टैंडिंग लोन विल बी मेड। सो ये कुछ कुछ इश्यूज हैं जो वेरियस एसएलबीसी मीटिंग्स में आए हैं और इसके कुछ कुछ हमें स्टेट से कुछ अच्छे एग्जाम्पल्स भी मिले हैं। लाइक हरियाणा से हमें एक बहुत अच्छा जो एक तरह का एक इनोवेटिव जो एक मेथड उन्होंने अडॉप्ट किया है, लाइक फॉर क्रिएशन ऑफ टाइटल डीड्स। सो व्हाट दे आर डूइंग, जो ग्राम पंचायत है दे आर देयर इज अ रजिस्टर्ड काइंड ऑफ थिंग कि ग्राम पंचायत इज सेलर एंड property owner is the buyer, and only 183 rupees may there is some kind of creation of title deed is being made. Or regarding the creation of charge, the MP government has provided a solution that in the MP Bhulek portal there is a provision that while giving loan, sanctioning loan, there will be bankers can be given the credentials and they can be make the charge on the card. So there are issues and there are some solutions also. Other state governments are, सारे जो भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं वो उसके आफ्टर डिस्कशन कुछ न कुछ इसके सोल्यूशन की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं। सो आई विल अगेन अर्ज ऑल द बैंक्स दैट वट एवर आस्क दे आर हैविंग रिगार्डिंग दिस, जब हम फाइनेंशियल वायबिलिटी की बात करते हैं और जब हम फाइनेंशियल एसेट एज स्वामित्व कार्ड को फाइनेंशियल एसेट के रूप में लेते हैं तो उसमें किस तरह के चैलेंजेस हैं वो इस फोरम पे सारे बैंकर्स से मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो यहाँ पे लाएंगे। और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, काफी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हैं, उनसे भी रिक्वेस्ट है कि बैंकर्स की जो बेसिक नीड है, बिकॉज उन्हें रेगुलेशंस फॉलो करना है, उन्हें ड्यू डिलिजेंस करना है, अल्टीमेटली इन केस ऑफ एनी डिफॉल्ट दे विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट। तो उनकी भी जो अर्ज है, रिक्वायरमेंट है, उस पर विचार करने की जरूरत है और उसका सोल्यूशन देने की जरूरत है। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं एक बार फिर आप सभी को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को अधिक से अधिक यूज करें। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you very much. Now we will request Sri Anand, General Manager, Reserve Bank of India, Central Office, to give his address. Sri Anand.
Director Board, Nirupam Malhotra sir, DG Yazda, Chokalingam Saab, MOPR Joint Secretary, Sri AP Nagar Saab, SK Singh Saab. Much has been said before I have spoken. So rather than stressing the importance of financial inclusion and as a policy priority for the country, and wherein the government and RBI and all the stakeholders have come together and achieved some historical results which the world takes note of. be it the BDA accounts, the UPI transactions, or the digital innovations which we have. Let me straight away come to the importance that the economy holds in the area of housing mortgages. When we monetize a house, we create an asset which is the biggest investment for a family in most of the cases. And when we ask a financial institution to fund that house, then we create the longest asset at in their books of account. This is, by virtue of being the longest asset, it is also the most sensitive to certain decisions like interest rates. And in today's world, in today's finance, nobody will argue with me that interest rates are sole decisions of central banks. The world is integrated. Regulations are integrated. Actions will need to be integrated. Earlier, we used to say that in the area of gold standard, you had a balancing mechanism. We have moved to a stage where interest rate settings by the Fed moves our markets here by noticeable basis points. And when the interest rate changes, which is the asset which is the loan portfolio which will get the maximum impact, that is the housing loan because of its tenor. We came out with a announcement in the last policy, and the circular is also out, wherein to protect the customer's interest, we have told the banks that in the assumption that the interest rates moves in a cycle, and if it goes up, it will come down, please do not keep extending the tenor of your EMI products because it turns into perpetuity at a reflection point. So that is the product which we are monetizing. Nirupam sir, you said, and I commend you for the Kisan credit card, the KCC initial initiatives. But you'll also remember the issues which the state governments, the district administrations have faced, say for in the case of sharecroppers. Beyond that, you have hinted and not moved forward, so I'll not move forward. And I just hope that some of the concerns which the bankers have raised by way of unambiguous access to rights, the delivery of the title as a collateral, the recovery are addressed effectively such that whatever be the minuscule amount of disputes which end up in courts, the courts do not end up wrapping the banks at their end, because the banks are the most fragile entities. We remember, by definition, banks take deposits, and deposits are demandable on call, and we have seen the largest and the biggest in the world falling to a bank run. Don't want to be pessimistic. It's a great initiative. It's a great social engineering which we are doing by making inherited property or dwellings by way of local customs and traditional rights monetizable asset. But when we discuss, I very much agree with Director Bird when he says you need to design a product. He says do the SOP. You need to do the SOP. But this SOP for this excluded sector will have to take into account regional differences. These go beyond the names and the nomenclatures which we give. Social customs and traditions will differ. The tribes of Andamans will be very different from the tribes of the Northeast. And the talukas of falling within the Lal Fita of Delhi or the Mumbai Greater Municipal Corporation or Mumbai Greater Municipal Corporation will be very different from a Lucknow hinterland. So we should be aware about the challenges. The challenges are small fragments, but they pose great risk to the system as a whole. There will be different opinions. There are all policymakers sitting here. We know a very beautiful policy might help everybody, and there can be a small fragment which is affected adversely, but they will be the most vociferous. And today they have social media with them. Coming to regulation by RBI, now the regulation works in a global economy wherein we have to coordinate with GIFT, we have to coordinate with banks for international settlements, Basel Committee on BCBS, Basel Committee on Bank Supervision, and the Financial Stability Board. There is a very limited administrative solution to most of the problems which we have now that we have embraced market-based solutions. So we are not closed to any of the efforts which you would like to be made, but it will need to be thought out, and it is there that I'll carry the outcome of the meetings. I'm sitting here throughout, and I'll take the note, and I invite all the bankers and all the decision makers from the federal and the state government to place their views. At this stage, goes without saying, but still I'll take the liberty. There is nothing right, nothing wrong. We are just seeking inputs to come to conclusion. I hope there are a lot of nitty-gritties to be discussed in three group discussions, which is there with the board. So I wish the forum all the best, and I look forward to active participation. Thank you.
Thank you. With this ends the first session, which was the inaugural session. Now, इनॉग्रल सेशन समाप्त होने के बाद हम लोग मूव करेंगे जो प्रैक्टिकल पोर्शंस जो कहते हैं सेकेंड सेशन की ओर। और इस सेशन को शुरू होने से पहले मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा कि हमारे बीच 11 स्टेट के प्रतिनिधि बैठे हुए हैं। पौंडीचेरी, उत्तराखंड, कर्नाटक, हरियाणा, गुजरात, राजस्थान, महाराष्ट्र, मिजोरम, मध्य प्रदेश, आंध्र प्रदेश, and the host state here, because this program is being organized in Bird Lucknow campus, उत्तर प्रदेश। और हमारे बीच बैंक SLBC में उत्तराखंड, SLBC कन्वेनर कर्नाटक, हरियाणा, गुजरात, राजस्थान, महाराष्ट्र, मिजोरम, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh SLBC conveners are present here. From bank side, Bank of Baroda representative, State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, ICICI Bank, HDFC, Union Bank, Bank of India, Canara Bank, Central Bank of India, Indian Bank, IDBI and Bank of Maharashtra जो कि SLBC कन्वेनर महाराष्ट्र के GM के रूप में भी यहाँ मौजूद हैं। सो ये हमारे राउंड टेबल डिस्कशन के पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, बिसाइड्स the host ministry of पंचायती राज and हमारे सर DG Yasta and other dignitaries, so and Department of Financial Services. Now moving on to the second session, हम लोग पहला जो प्रेजेंटेशन है, प्रेजेंटेशन बाय मध्य प्रदेश, डेमो ऑफ ऑनलाइन सिस्टम ऑफ चार्ज क्रिएशन, ये श्री अखिलेश जैन ज्वाइंट कमिश्नर लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स उनके द्वारा प्रेजेंट किया जाएगा। श्री अखिलेश जैन जी।
The idea through these three presentations is to give you a flavor of what we think are the three best performing states in this regard कि उन्होंने क्या किया है। तो मध्य प्रदेश, महाराष्ट्र और गुजरात के द्वारा ये होगी। Or you could either take notes. I think there is enough time if you want to intervene to understand something better. I think people may do that.
आदरणीय जॉइंट कमिश्नर सर, MOPR, रेस्पेक्टेड डायरेक्टर बर्ड, उपस्थित सभी डिग्निटीज, मध्य प्रदेश में स्वामित्व को लेकर के जो काम हुआ है और चार्ज क्रिएशन को लेकर के खास तौर पे जो बात हुई है उसको हमने प्रेजेंट करने का एक प्रयास किया है। इसको एंड टू एंड कंप्यूटराइजेशन प्रोसेस से जोड़ा गया है जिससे चार्ज क्रिएशन इजीली हो सके। नेक्स्ट प्लीज। ये इसके हम ओवरव्यू पे बात करेंगे कि किस तरह से हमने इसको स्टेप बाय स्टेप आगे लिया है। नेक्स्ट। सबसे पहले लीगल प्रोविजन से देखा जाएगा। जो इसका आबादी का सर्वे है उसको हमने अपनी एमपीएलआरसी जो है मध्य प्रदेश लैंड रेवेन्यू कोड उसमें अमेंडमेंट करते हुए इसको लीगल प्रोविजाइज किया है। सेक्शन 107 में जोड़ करके इसको मैंडेटरी किया गया है और इसके लिए नियम बनाए गए हैं सन 2020 में ही वो सर्वेक्षण नियम। इसके साथ में गाइडलाइंस भी तैयार की गई हैं। नेक्स्ट। जो भी ऑक्यूपेंट्स हैं जिनको प्लॉट्स पहले से थे उनके पास में हमने लॉफुली करते हुए उनको आबादी एरिया का प्रमाण पत्र दिया है। और यदि कहीं पर आबादी लैंड अलग से डिक्लेयर करने की आवश्यकता भी है तो वो कलेक्टर्स इस एमपीएलआरसी में सेक्शन 243 के तहत यूज करते हुए उसको डिक्लेयर कर सकते हैं जिससे जो अन्य लोग हैं जिनको आबादी की आवश्यकता है तो वो दी जा सके सेटलमेंट के लिए। इसको हमने ब्लॉक और सेक्टर्स में बांटा हुआ है, प्लॉट्स में बांटा हुआ है। जो एक बड़ा एरिया है उसको सर्वे नंबर और ब्लॉक कहा गया है। उसके अंदर जो भूखंड दिए गए हैं वो प्लॉट्स में तैयार किए गए हैं। और इनका स्केल भी आप देख सकते हैं। जो मैप्स का जो आबादी एरिया का प्रिपेयर्ड है वो स्केल 1/500 है। ये ब्लॉक्स और प्लॉट्स का एक कंपेरिजन चार्ट है। हम आगे आते हैं जो चार्ज क्रिएशन की बात है। नेक्स्ट। ये हमारे यहाँ जो आरसीएमएस है रेवेन्यू कोर्ट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम वहां से एक केस का रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है जो कलेक्टर की लॉगिन आईडी से होता है। वहां से एक टीम फॉर्मेशन होती है। फिर ये एक सारा ऐप है जिसके थ्रू सर्वे किया जाता है, पटवारी के पास पहुंचता है, वहां से वापस आरसीएमएस पाकर फाइनल डिस्पोजल होता है। देन ये एमपी भूलेख पोर्टल पर जाता है जहां पर फाइनल आरओआर बनता है और इसकी अवेलेबिलिटी भी होती है जहां से कोई भी एक्सेस करके देख सकता है। ये उसका एक फ्लो चार्ट बनाया गया है। ये सारा ऐप पर जो एक्टिविटीज हैं उनका एक संक्षेप में चार्ट बनाया गया है कि किस तरह से इसमें एक्सेस किया जा सकता है। इसमें बैंकर्स को भी विंडो दी गई हुई है चार्ज क्रिएशन के लिए। ये आप एक स्पेसिमेन खसरा कॉपी दे सकते हैं जो बिफोर 2020 और आफ्टर 2020 दोनों हैं। जो आफ्टर 2020 है आप ये देख सकते हैं स्पेसिमेन कॉपी है। ये एमपी बुलेट पोर्टल से भी मिल जाता है और इसका जो चार्ज का कॉलम है उसमें दिखता है कि ये वर्तमान में किस व्यक्ति के नाम पर है, इस पर क्या कोई मॉर्गेज है, लोन है इत्यादि। इसको explain करो।
Thank you, sir. First, I would like to introduce about the mortgage system. Actually, how we are charging the sorry लैंड मॉर्गेज के बारे में जो हमारा सिस्टम है मध्य प्रदेश में एक्चुअली से इट इज सिमिलर एज एग्रीकल्चर लैंड। एक्चुअली बैंकर्स को जो लीन मार्किंग के लिए जो फैसिलिटीज दी गई है दैट इज इन टू डिफरेंट मोड्स। वन इज थ्रू यूजर इंटरफेस, सेकंड is through API mode. In user interface mode, what we have did that we have allowed all the bankers with the login credential that they can log in with their own credential to just mark the lien and all the mortgage entered or hypothecation also. Second mode is that through API also we have integrated our system that banker can work within their system and can update the land record through their own system with the land record system also. So first is right. So I think I am now audible correctly that one is the UI system and second is through API. So one is available at Ambibolic portal that any landowners through eKYC will get into the system, and bankers will verify their details, and that detail will be updated in land record system. And after that, log in the details. Our revenue record has a particular system that concern Padwari and Tehsildar will validate the records, and that detail will be marked in our land record system. Now, second is through API. I'm again repeating the same, that through API we have integrated with UBI Bank in new system, just to mark the mortgage entries in land records. Through UBI, we have integrated that into their system. They log in and they do all the activities for the loaning system and access the land records through the API. And also lien marking they do with the API, and that same updated in our land records. Now there is a system you can see that about the user about the MP Gulek portal. If anyone banker want to go with their credential, select the landowner parcel detail, verify the owner detail, and after the eKYC, just mark in the land records. Now that is the simple UI where all the banker has the access. That in a simple way, banker can scroll the land record which is available in the system with the village, tehsil, and the sub up to the survey number level, parcel level. They can select the land record, and all the detail will be visible to the banker. After selecting the detail of the owner of the plot, the owner detail will be visible, and you can see in the screen first detail that you can see the land records, the owner name, and also the facility for eKYC for the particular landowner also available here. Now at the point of eKYC, just do the eKYC activity, put on the Aadhaar number, and with the OTP or biometric, they can authenticate the landowner, and with the same system, they can do the only this activity, and then charge will be marked in the land records. Now the second portion is that how we will validate it. Now the form 5 is sufficient to do the complete activity. So they will upload the consent form. Form 5 will be uploaded, and now that detail will be charged and detail will be mentioned in the land record. Now you can see in the land record system, the detail is available in the second copy. You can say the specimen copy, it is available that as and when the bank update the land records, the entry is available as Bicharadhin. Means it is available, it is not validated, but it is available just after entering the bank detail. Now our revenue system, our Patwari and Tesla will validate the entries, and that will be finally recorded in the land records. So that is the system through UI. I think you also can see the copy which is marked by the bank, where we have marked a separated column for marked income details. I would like to introduce again that before 2020 and after 2020, there's a major change in the land records that now we have a separate column in Khasra just to mark all the encumbrances. But before 2020, it was not available. So by the change of law, we just introduced a new column just to mark all kind of encumbrances like KCC and all other loans or hypothecation. Now, this is a system through API which we have integrated with our land record system. The bank user can access the land records with their own systems, as we have completed with the UBI, as we have earlier discussed. So, with this system, UBI Bank up to 2500 charges have been marked by the UPI Bank in our land record system. So, there are the two modes. One is through UPI, one is through UI, and second is through API system we have integrated. And now also I would like to show the detail that UPI Bank also have created a system with the help of RBI Reserve Bank Innovation Hub, that they want to create a hassle-free loan for KCC. So they have created a system that within hours or few minutes they can disperse the loan. So they access the land records through API, validate in few minutes, and just they disperse the loan. And I hope I up to more than 400 loans they have dispersed in the KCC below 1.6 lakh amount. So
And
that's the
if
presentation for
memory serves me correctly, you found out through looking at your system that there have been so many loans granted against your Adhikar Abhilekh, isn't it?
sir.
Because there were
Correct,
red
sir.
entries.
Correct, sir.
Yeah. तो दे ऑल्सो गॉट टेकन बाय सरप्राइज और फिर उन्होंने उसमें जाकर देखा तो पता चला कि बाकी एसएलबीसी वाले बताएंगे बाद में
Sir.
जी
So actually, these are the two systems. So through UI and through API, this is very easy to onboard the system. And with the Reserve Bank Innovation Hub, also we are trying to expand the system with UBI. Now we are working. Now we will try to expand it with more bank. Thank you all.
If the SLBC want to comment, इसमें कुछ बताना चाहेंगे आप लोग? डू यू गिव इट अ थम्स अप? आर यू ओके विद अधिकार अभिलेख, या इसमें कोई कमियां हैं? क्योंकि बात ही करनी है हम लोगों ने, यहाँ प्रेजेंटेशंस तो सुनना एक इज अ इज अ साइड लाइट. द मेन थिंग इज टू हियर यू कि आपका इसमें संतोष लेवल क्या है.
थैंक यू सर। तो ये जो अभी हमारा एसएलबीसी बैंक्स वर्सेस स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सीरीज ऑफ मीटिंग हुआ, तो जो जो इश्यूज थे वो सब सेटल डाउन हो गए. नाउ इट इज स्मूथ. तो 4-5 banks they have already started doing this. So now I think there is no issue, sir. We have received clarification we have required, sir.
नहीं, एक चीज किस तरह के इश्यूज वहां रेज हुए थे जिसको कि आप लोगों ने सेटल डाउन किया, सॉर्ट आउट किया, सो दैट कि अदर स्टेक होल्डर भी जान पाए कि एमपी ने क्या किया है, दूसरों को क्या करना चाहिए.
I have a list of issues more than 25 to 30 issues, sir. तो ऐसा मतलब but we conducted various meetings, so all settled, sir.
मेरे ख्याल से हमारी टीम के पास वो है जो एमपी में एसएलबीसी की प्रोसीडिंग्स वाले थे, तो वो आपको बता दीजिएगा. उत्तराखंड वांट्स टू सी व्हाट दोज आर.
यस सर, मेरे पास वो पीडीएफ है
ये
सर,
रहे,
जिनमें
ये
क्वेश्चन
आपके पास
आंसर
हैं,
सर.
बता दीजिए.
सर हमारे पास बहुत मतलब पेजेस में है बहुत, तो मतलब वो एक टाइम कम पड़ जाएगा पढ़ के सुनाने के लिए.
I just wanted to know the critical issues. There are definitely in SLBCs.
handing over. Is handing over. Okay. It's not small.
Fine enough.
Hi, sir. I am from SLBC Gujarat. The only one thing which, as a banker, like my from DFS also it has come that the unambiguous ownership with clear right to transfer. If it is there, I think in each and every state this is very easily doable, sir. So if some enactment, special enactment is there in MP, whether that can be replicated in all other states, that will be fair enough for, I think, bankers to go ahead with this. And the special schemes and all, we can very well formulate. But then this, what has been told by DFS and also by RBI representative is, bankers are worried about the unambiguous ownership with clear right to transfer. If this is there in each and every state, probably we are okay with that.
So any quick question before you?
May I
Yeah,
come in, sir?
otherwise, yes.
May I come in, sir? So myself, sir, J.L. Gami, General Manager, Union Bank of India. What MP representative told regarding the KCC journey, STP, and the financing of the Awadi lands and record of rights, it is correct, sir, because there are so many parameters which is required to be implemented by the each states. So 11 parameters factored in the systems also, and MP and one Chhattisgarh has completed all the parameters. So all the steps which is required to come at conclusion has completed by both the state. So it is now it is very easy for the bankers to finance against the rupee card. If all other states doing like that, so I think there is no issue for the bankers for financing, because all things which is required for the bank is covered. Thank you.
Sir,
चलिए. या यू कैन ऑल्सो से दैट वी आर फ्लैगिंग दीज. जब फिर इसमें आपके ये थीमेटिक डिस्कशन होगा ना 3 ग्रुप्स में, उस वक्त इसको और डिटेल में इसे एड्रेस कर लेंगे. बताइए.
Sir, one more thing. In addition to title, and the second point which the banker feel in case of delinquency, transferability. Because if the title can be easily transferable, and third important is the price mechanism, because this loan will not be used for KCC purpose. In KCC, there is a scale of finance. Price mechanism, how it is to be district level or state level, that has also been.
One doubt from my side. एसएलबीसी आपने जैसे बताया कि सारे हमारे जो भी इश्यूज, बट एक एक इशू जो एसएलबीसी से जो जेएस जेएस डीएफएस और एमओपीआर दोनों ज्वाइंट मीटिंग करी थी, उसमें एक इशू था कि जैसे मोर देन 90 लोन्स, आई थिंक
93 लोन
93 लोन्स आपने सैंक्शन आपके वहां पे हो गए हैं, बट उसमें एक इशू आ रहा था कि वो रजिस्टर्ड मॉर्टगेज उसमें करना पड़ा,
यस
और यू आर सीकिंग सम काइंड ऑफ वेवर ऑन स्टैम्प ड्यूटी। तो
यस
तो अगर ये इशू क्योंकि ये मुझे लगता है स्टैम्प ड्यूटी काफी हैवी होगी, पे करना पड़ा होगा अगर अगर इस तरह का रजिस्टर्ड मॉर्टगेज किया गया, तो इशू अभी भी मेरे ख्याल से शॉर्ट आउट नहीं है, इसको थोड़ा सा वी हैव
I believe banks are doing a registered mortgage in this case because जो रिकॉर्ड ऑफ राइट्स है
किसी
इसका
राजस्थान
अगला वाला सुन लेते हैं। महाराष्ट्र ने उसका कुछ तरीका इजाद किया है ताकि एक से दूसरे में फर्क ना रह जाए, तो मेरे ख्याल से ये गुत्थी खुद ब खुद सुलझ जाएगी।
Thank you, sir. Now we will be moving to the second presentation. Before that, I will also want to tell the house that among us we have three regional rural banks. Chairman of Aryabhat Bank, Chairman of Baroda UP Gramin Bank, and General Manager of Prathama UP Gramin Bank, and also UP State Cooperative Bank. So now I will request Sri Vishnu Sindhe ji from Maharashtra Survey Settlement and Land Record from Survey Settlement Land Records to give his presentation.
Good morning, sir. Honorable Joint Secretary, sir. Good morning, sir. Respected Joint Secretary, MOPR Government of India, Honorable Director, Board, Honorable Director General Yashoda Choklingam, sir, and all dignitaries. I would like to present from Maharashtra the Sir, this is the legal provision. Now we are having Maharashtra Land Revenue Code formulated in 1966. Section 121 to 131 deals with this. So specifically Section 126 says that survey of lands in village sites how to be conducted. So in this section you will find that the land which is not ordinarily used for agriculture, surveying of this land is provision is made. Also below this, the land revenue rules, village, town and city survey 69, they are formulated. Rule 6 provides for the enquiry procedure and deciding the title of the land. Also along with this detailed city survey manual where the procedure has been laid down for city survey operations, and following due procedure where it is legal provision, a legal procedure followed, the outcome is that we get property card in form D, rule 7. So this has legal validity, sanctity. Next, so the record created by the following due procedure of law. So for creating charge, the legal provision existing is Transfer of Property Act 1882 Section 59 states that when mortgage is to be registered, when the principal money is 100 or more, then there is need for registration. Secondly, in Registration Act Section 17B 2, if the instrument, non-testamentary instruments, you have to create, assign, limit or extinguish a right, title or interest of value of 100 rupees or more, and the registration is required. Next, sir, For as the mortgage is registered for two reasons: one to note the charge, also to release the charge. So there is provision already in the Maharashtra Land Revenue Code. Section 149 says that the acquisition of right should be reported within 3 months to the Talati or Patwari. Here in city survey areas, city survey officer or survey officer is received by this intimation. So section 59 provides register of mutations when the mortgage is registered. It is reported. The procedure for taking charge, noting charge, if the objection is raised and deciding the matter finally, uh, section 150 operates. Also, section 159 there is provision that if the document is registered, then the person acquiring that has no need to report. The registering officer will duty of that officer to report to the Patwari or survey officer. Sir, Abadi and agriculture land, as this code gives, the same legal framework is for both the lands. Only the tax assessment is different. In the Abadi land, we do not charge non-agriculture tax for residential purpose. Separate provision for convert the agriculture land into non-agriculture. But if the Abadi land is used for other than residential purpose, for commercial or industrial, then there is provision for charging non-agriculture assessment. Then the valuation of Abadi property is done by the Assistant Director Town Planning, is a separate wing in Maharashtra. So these are the points for valuation of the properties, the nearby non-agriculture land, category of the rural area from zone 1 to 7, population of the village, infrastructure development and sale purchase analysis. Finally, the ready reckoner is prepared by the Inspector General for registration. We use it for the valuation, final valuation of the properties. The after this creation of charge, if the borrower do not pay the loan by the banks, then this act can be applied. Surface Act 2002. The enforcement provisions are given. So section 13 to section 19. Section 13.2 deals with the demand notice to the borrower. Around 2 months notice is given. Section 13.4 is possession of secured assets. So section 14 deals with the help of the magistrate in taking possession. The procedure in Rule 8.1 possession of notice, Rule 8.6 for sale or action, 9.6 is sale certificate. After this sale certificate issued by the officer appointed, the sale certificate we need to be registered at the register office, and if it gets registered, the mutation of that sales is taken in the land records. There is online linkage available for the Swamitva property card. So you can view the property card without any charges. Free viewing is available, and downloading you have to register for downloading, and you can download the property card with paying some charges. There is linkage between iSarita and EPCI's property card. If the mortgage deed is registered, it is sent by the auto trigger system to the property card system, and after the city survey officer or survey officer certifies the mutation. These are some success stories from the various districts of Maharashtra. The loans extended by the financial institutions. We will see. First one is for the rural housing. Second is for personal loans. These are you can see column number, city survey number, area, and the loan sanction. The first one is area is 59 square meters. As against that, a loan of 5,40,000 has been sanctioned. Second is around 470 square meters, around 5 hours. In 65 lakh loan has been sanctioned. So these are the property cards. Charge is noted on these cards. The name of the financial institution, registration number, amount of charge has been recorded. Mutation entry has been certified, and this is available online. Thank you.
थैंक यू विष्णु सिंधे जी। और अगर हाउस में से कोई सवाल पूछना चाह रहे हैं या कुछ क्लैरिफी।
One doubt I am having is in Maharashtra, especially when this property, the charge is noted, sir, under. See, after the equitable mortgage, also we notify with a memorandum to the Maharashtra state. So the charge removal of the payment of the loan was not a provision there. Satisfaction of charge was not appearing in the land record subsequently. But the customers used to do, they produce a notice certificate of the bank. So can we not incorporate that also? The charge noting as well as charge satisfaction, both.
अगर कोई और सवाल ना हो तो हम लोग
Yes, one question from my side. There are two type of status as far as the Abadi Bhumi is concerned. In first case, the concerned landholders possession. Okay. So in case of the title deed, the bankers are still giving the advance. There is no problem because he is having the absolute ownership as far as the title deed is concerned. But if he is having only possession, in that case, the question arose earlier that the registered mortgage is being done. Okay. So the question is, when we are creating the registered mortgage, the DFS secretary was also telling there is a huge state to state differ stamp duty is there. So it is the great question for the bankers. Second point, in certain cases, say take the example of Rajasthan, sir. In Rajasthan, there are certain pattas issued by the Gram Panchayat as far as the Abadi Bhumi is concerned, in which certain conditions are incorporated that this land can be used only for the construction of house, and that can be created equitable mortgage for the purpose of taking the advance from any of financial institution for the purpose of only creation of the for the taking of housing loan only. It cannot be used for the collateral purpose. If he is a businessman, so that conditions are creating the hurdle to expand the advances. No doubt, sir, property card is there, but property card is not a sign of the title deeds. It is a sign of evidence of the ownership of the property. Okay. So we require the title deeds if we are creating the equitable mortgage. So if in the eyes of law, if we are going to create a charge on the property through the property card in which you were presenting that how to create the charge on the